International Business, Masters of Commerce, second semester, Mangalore University, session 20. Managing Global Business Risks. In this session, you are going to learn about the key success involvement of enterprise risk management and strategic risk assessment. Learning objective: to discuss about the concept of enterprise risk management and strategic risk assessment. Session outcome: the students are able to understand how to manage the risk by adopting enterprise risk management in the organization. Key success involvement of HRM. The components of successful ERM approaches are: Step 1. Know the business climate. Understand which business factors have the ability to impact operations on cost potential compliance concerns. Benchmark both inside and outside the organization and possibly even outside the industry. Step 2. Understand and prioritize risks and opportunities. Ensure the colleagues understand how to identify and report risks and opportunities. There are two key activities. One is deploy a comprehensive education and awareness program, and second, perform an enterprise risk assessment with focused reviews of an organization's most significant risks on an ongoing basis. Leveraging existing strategies used by the colleagues to report events such as those utilized in privacy, information security, insurance or risk management compliance. Step 3. Manage the identified risks and opportunities. Create a centralized process or have a collaborative process to analyze and manage risk and opportunity information. Some common risk management techniques are avoidance, that is, avoid or eliminate, withdrawn from or not become involved. That is, some common risk management are avoidance, reduction, sharing, retention. In step 4, reporting and metrics. Reports and metrics can be used by the operations, budgeting, strategy, audit, compliance, and many other departments for strategy and decision making, where the consideration of risk can influence the outcome. Second is dashboards. Risk monitoring reports, qualitative and quantitative analysis can be used to measure the effectiveness of risk treatment activities and to understand any implications for an organization's overall business strategy. And next, step 5, a risk alert culture and risk control. A risk alert culture is the intrinsic understanding and assessment of risk embedded in day-to-day operations. It fosters the integration of enterprise risk principles throughout every layer of the organization. Risk control are measures to limit the vulnerabilities and manage risks to an acceptable level. Risk alert culture and risk control are created by adhering to policies and procedure, laws and regulations, educating and holding the colleagues accountable for evaluating the risk holistically in strategic initiatives, creating and utilizing a common language and effectively using preemptive risk concepts within the business units components of successful ERM research. Steps in enterprise risk management. With the changing business environment brought on by events such as the global financial crisis, gone are the days of focusing only on operational and tactical risk management. Enterprise risk management, a framework for a business to assess its overall exposure to risk and hence its ability to make timely and well-informed decisions, is now the norm. Ratings agencies such as Standard & Poor's are reinforcing the shift towards ERM by rating the effectiveness of a company's ERM strategy as a part of their overall credit assessment. This means that aside from being best practice, not having an efficient ERM strategy in place will have a detrimental effect on a company's credit rating. Not only do large companies need to respond to this new focus, but also the public sector needs to demonstrate efficiency going forward by ensuring ERM is embedded not only vertically but also horizontally across their organizations. This session provides you in the form of 5 basic steps to implementing a simple and effective ERM solutions. first step is establish an enterprise risk structure. ERM requires the whole organization to identify, communicate, and proactively manage risk regardless of position or perspective. Everyone needs to follow a common approach which includes a consistent policy and process, a single repository for their risks, and a common reporting format. However, it is also important to retain the existing working practices based on localized risk management perspectives, as these reflect the focus of operational risk management. The corporate risk register will look different from the operational risk register, with a more strategic emphasis on risks to business strategy, reputation, and so on, rather than more tactical product, contract, and project focused risks. The health and safety manager will identify different kinds of risks from the finance manager, while asset risk management and business continuity are disciplines in their own right. Enterprise risk management brings together risk registers from different disciplines, allowing visibility, communication, and central reporting while maintaining distributed responsibility. In addition to the usual vertical risk registers such as corporates, business units, departments, programs, and projects, the enterprise also needs horizontal or functional risk registers. These registers allow function and business managers who are responsible for identifying the risk to their own objectives to identify risks arising from other areas of the organization. The enterprise risk structure should match the organization structure. The hierarchy represents vertical, that is executive, as well as horizontal, functional, and business aspects of the organization. This challenges the conventional assumption that risks can be rolled up automatically by placing horizontal structures side by side with vertical executive structures. Risk should be aggregated using a combination of vertical structure and horizontal intelligence. This is a key factor in establishing ERM. Step 2. Assign responsibility. Once an appropriate enterprise risk structure is established, assigning responsibility and ownership should be straightforward. Selected nodes in the structure will have specified objectives. Each will have an associated manager who will be responsible for achieving those objectives and managing the associated risks. Each node containing a set of risks along with its owner and leader is a risk management cluster. Vertical managers take executive responsibility not only for their cluster risk register but also overall leadership responsibility for the risk management clusters below. Responsibility takes two forms: ownership at the higher level and leadership at the lower level. For example, a program manager will manage his program risk but also have responsibility for overseeing risk within each of the program's projects. Budgetary authority, setting and using the management reserve, approval of risk response actions, communication of risk appetite, management reporting, and risk performance measures are defined as part of the owner and leader roles. This structure is also used to escalate and delegate the risk. Horizontal managers take responsibility for their own functional or business risk management, their discipline. For example, the HR functional manager will be responsible for identifying common skills shortfall risk to bring them under central management. Similarly, the business continuity manager will identify all local risks relating to use of a test facility and manage them under one site management plan. To assist in this, we use an enterprise risk map. The third step is create an enterprise risk map. Risk budgeting and common sense dictate that risk should reside at their local point of impact because this is where attention is naturally focused. However, the risk, cost, mitigation or exploitation strategy may come from elsewhere in the organization, and often common causes and actions can be identified. In this case, we take a systematic approach where risks are managed more efficiently when brought together at a higher level. To achieve this, we need to be able to map risk to different parts of the risk management structure. So to create an enterprise risk map, we need first one, a set of global categories to communicate information to the right place. Second, a facility to define the relationship between the risks. Third, scoring systems with consistent common impact types. Global categories. Functional and business managers uh, should use these global categories to map risks to common themes such as strategic or business objectives, functional areas, and so on. These categories then provide ways to search and filter on these themes and to bring common risks together under a parent risk. For example, if skills shortage risks are associated with HR, the HR manager can easily call up a register of all the HR risks, regardless of project, contract, asset, etc., across the organization and manage them collectively. Similarly, the impact of a supplier falling on any one contract may be manageable, but across many contracts could be a major business risk, in which case the supply chain function needs to be bring the risk against this supplier together and to manage the problem centrally. Each risk management cluster will include both global and local categories in a predict group, so that each area of the organization needs only to review the relevant information. Scoring systems are also applied by risk management cluster with locally meaningful high, medium, and low thresholds which map automatically when rolled up. For example, a high impact of 150 one 150,000 euros at project or contract level will help as low at corporate level, whereas 5 million euros risk at a project or contract level may appear as high at the corporate level. Typically, financial and reputational impacts will be common to all the clusters, whereas local impacts such as project schedule will not be visible higher up. The fourth step is decision making through enterprise risk reporting. The most important aspect of risk management is carrying out appropriate actions to manage the risk. However, you cannot manage every identified risk, so you need to prioritize and make decisions on where to focus management attention and resources. The decision making process is underpinned by establishing risk appetite against objectives and setting a baseline, both of which should be recorded against each risk management cluster. Enterprise-wide reporting allows senior managers to review risk exposure and trends across the organization. This is best achieved through metrics reports such as the risk histogram. For example, you might want to review the risk to key business objectives by cluster, or how exposed different contracts and projects are to various suppliers. Furthermore, there is a need to use a common set of reports across the organization to avoid time wasted interpreting unfamiliar formats. Such common reports ensure the risk is communicated and well understood by all elements of the organization, and hence provide timely information on the current risk position and trends, initially top down and drilling down to the root cause. Fifth step, changing the culture from local to enterprise. At all levels of organization, changing the emphasis from risk management to managing risk is a challenge. However, across the enterprise, it is particularly difficult. It requires people to look ahead and take action to avert risk to the benefit of the organization. It also requires the organization to encourage and reward this change to emphasize. Unfortunately, problem management deals with today's problems at the expense of future ones. This is generally a far more expensive process as the available remedies are limited. However, if potential problems are identified before they arise, you have far more options available to effect a left shift from a costly and overly long process to one better matching the original objective set. Most organizations have pockets of good risk management. Many have a mechanism to report top N risk vertically, but very few have started to implement horizontal functional or business risk management. Both a bottom up and top down approach is required. An ERM initiative should allow good local practices to continue provided they are in line with enterprise policy and process. From a top down perspective, functional and business focused risk management needs to be kick-started. A risk steering group comprising functional heads and business managers is a good place to start. The benefits of such a group getting together to understand interdisciplinary risk help break down stovepiped processes. This can trigger increasingly relaxed cross-discipline discussions and focus on aligning the business and personal objectives that lead to rapid progress on understanding and managing risk. Finally, to ensure that an organizational culture shift is effected, the senior management must be engaged. This engagement is not only aimed at encouraging them to see the benefits of managing risk, but to also help the organization as a whole see that proactive management of risk is valued by all. A risk management masterclass for the executive board and senior managers can provide them with the tools necessary to progress an organization towards effective enterprise risk management. Strategic risk assessment. What is strategic risk assessment? Strategic risk assessment is a systematic, continuous process for organizations to identify its strategic risk and understand how those risks are being managed across the business. Strategic risks are the risks that are most consequential to the organization's ability to execute its strategy and achieve its objectives. They entail the risk exposures that can ultimately impact the shareholder value or even threaten the business survival. Planning a strategic risk assessment. The strategic risk assessment process should be led by management but receive input from and be reviewed in conjunction with the board. The outcome of this risk assessment is to achieve consensus among board members and management around the top key risks facing the organization. This process aligns with COSO's 2017 ERM framework and is based on research by Dr. Matt Frigo, Director of the Center for Strategy, Execution and Valuation at DePaul University, and Richard Anderson, a retired partner of PwC and a clinical professor at the Strategic Risk Management at DePaul. The strategic risk assessment the strategic risk assessment planning are as follows. First one is understand the strategies of the organization. The first step of the risk assessment is to develop an overview of the organization's key strategies and business objectives. For some business, this data may already be well developed and formally documented. If not, the risk assessment team can leverage examples such as the written driven strategy model to understand and identify the strategies most critical to achieving the organization's overall objectives. This is a crucial step in helping management and the board eventually prioritize the potential risks to these strategies. Some of the checklists of this are: understand the strategies of the organization, gather the data and reviews of the strategic risk, prepare a preliminary strategic risk profile, validate and finalize the strategic risk profile, develop enterprise risk management action plans, communicate the strategic risk profile and action plans, implement the enterprise risk management action plans. The second is collect data and views on strategic risk from the organization. The second step is to collect the information from the organization regarding its strategic risk. This can be achieved by reviewing financial reports and investors' presentation, interviewing key executive leaders regarding what they view as strategic risk, surveying the business leaders and other personnel with view of risk, example compliance, internal audit and external audit teams. It can be helpful to use the information gathered on strategic risk in step 1 to frame these interviews and surveys around the business's key strategies. It can also be useful to interview key executive leaders regarding what they view as potential emerging risks in addition to gathering their feedback on strategic risks. Third is prepare a preliminary strategic risk profile. The next step is to utilize the results from step 1 and 2 of the risk assessment planning to develop a preliminary profile of the organization's strategic risk. The risk assessment team can use the strategic risk management model as a template to help assess the risk related to each of the top strategies identified. Ultimately, this profile should contain a list of the top risk to the organization's strategy and objectives and their potential severity or ranking. How detailed this profile is and how it will be presented should be carefully catered to the culture of your organization. Color coding risk and using visual heat maps may be helpful in presenting this information to management and the board to review. The fourth step is validate and finalize the strategic risk profile with management and the board. Upon presenting the preliminary strategic risk profile to leadership, the next step is for the risk assessment team to facilitate a discussion among key executives to help refine, validate, and finalize the risk profile. The ensuing cross dialogue and conversations about risk and opportunity are among the most valuable conversations for shaping business strategy as they unite executives across the organization to share their unique perspectives and collectively vet and prioritize the organization's top key risks. Fifth is develop a strategic risk management action plan. This step entails leveraging the results of the previous steps to produce an actionable plan to help manage and monitor the identified strategic risks. The action plan involves developing an appropriate risk response to each critical risk identified in accordance with the organization's risk appetite. The consolidated action plan should prioritize these risk responses and allocate the resources across them. Best practice indicates the action plan should also include a charter that has a formal statement on the organization risk appetite and assigns the responsibilities and accountability for risk monitoring and actions among management, internal audit, and compliance. 6. Communicate the strategic risk profile and action plan. Once the strategic risk management action plan has been developed, it should be validated and finalized by management and the board. Once finalized, this profile and plan must be communicated with the organization in order to help develop and build the organization's risk culture. 7. Implement the enterprise risk management action plan. The value of performing a strategic risk assessment is realized when the organization implements the resulting action plan to manage and monitor its strategic risks. However, enterprise risk management should not be regarded as a one-time annual procedure but as a continual ongoing process that can be built upon and strengthened. As such, these steps should be repeated as frequently as needed in response to significant external events that can affect the business, such as the 2008 financial crisis or the 2020 COVID-19 crisis. Furthermore, leveraging risk management software can help streamline and centralize the risk assessment process, creating the foundation for a mature ERM program.